Time for the faith walk of the day. I want to talk about obedience. So y'all know I have 3 kids, and my kids don't have the option of listening to me when they feel like it. If I say, "Hey, baby, I want you to go pick those things up," right? The first one is, "Hey, babe, go pick this thing up." And if they, are coming from somewhere else and doing something, there is some understanding. But if I come in the family room and you just sitting there on the computer, what is wrong with you if you don't get your behind up and go do what I said? And then if it's still, then it had to be a whole nother situation. It's gonna be a fight. Mostly me and you. It's gonna be mostly me though. So disobedience with our children is interesting, but it's even more interesting when God tells us to do things that we don't do. And you know what? God is so patient with us. He gives us so much time. He gives us so much rope, man, to do what he said do, to become okay with the idea, to latch into the faith of God, to really believe that God don't have to tell me everything first, make me understand everything. And that's kind of I feel like this era that we're in today. Like, Lord, I need to understand it completely before I even give you a maybe, But here's what I know for sure. What you're basically saying is, no, God, I'm not doing that. Who feels comfortable saying no to God? Like, who does that? Plenty of people do it on a regular basis. And because he's a gracious God and disobedience doesn't render those immediate results, what it does do immediately, I think, is cut things off. I think every action sends a message to heaven. Some of you, God has challenged you to do things, and because you've never done it before, because it feels impossible, because it feels like a stretch, you feel more comfortable saying no, or at least not yet. Or at least I'll get to it. Well, I'm praying. Let me talk to my circle. Let me Google it. Let me research it. Let me ask someone else. Let me get confirmation. Let me go seek out some prophets so they can tell me something that make me feel good. Let me call on my prophet friends. If God tells you something and you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, follow God. There is so much beauty in obedience. There are so many blessings that come with obedience. Now, I appreciate mercy and grace, and I appreciate God, allowing us the time to kind of figure it out and all that stuff. But can you imagine if God says do and you just do? You know what I mean? How the enemy doesn't have the opportunity to get a foothold. How the enemy doesn't have an opportunity to whisper in your ear and maybe kind of water down what God has told you because you're listening. I want us to be obedient, a little more obedient to God, and say yes and yield and surrender to God. All right? That is my faith walk for today.